yeah, one survival. Men's pain. Killing.
Yeah, I put my feet down, keeping it moving in every city. We gon' feast now. When you got problems, then come and see me, but don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no peace.
I speak now, only the only one bringing heat now. Keep down, bullets keep flying through every street now. I teach how to stand with survival, escape defeat. Now we gotta keep on moving, we proving that we can be proud. Dirty, grimy, gritty, this whole world is a ghetto. The government's controlling the power, banging with heavy metal. With shit to affect your mental, got them blind and not vision, but I reverse the plan of action. This is how I pimp the system, so listen. This form of struggle is going to be tough enough. We can't be discouraged or feeling low when our time is up, cause we keep riding, standing to keep shining. If you wanna be a leader, your soldiers will fall behind your military camaraderie. Ride or die till they body me. I'm working at something bigger than thieving, jacking, and robbery. Earthquake the state, call the God when it shakes. I'm more than a man, plus if I'm more than just food, I'ma play with my feet down, keeping it moving in every city. We gon' feast now. If you got problems, then come and see me, but don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no peace.
Put my feet down, keeping it moving in every city. We gon' feast now. If you got problems, then come and see me, but don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no peace.
Man, I'm still on the run from them old tickets. Still cutting hella coals from a whole chicken. Still got my 6'9" with the roof missing. And I still have my 4'5" in my boot kitchen. My food itching and alien dream a true mission. But you snitching and left the team with 2 pigeons, 2 engines. Holly Burrow, but can't pinch them. Can't switch them for nicotine, you can't listen. I can't mention the G code to stay silent. Big mouths bring problems, bring violence. I co-sign this, I stay humble and push papers. Final call is my ammo, I hook neighbors. Baby boys, baby girls, cruise with sabers. Pure Regals and Desert Eagles under the table. I know the fable, but it ain't a dream. I trade a penny to push a bucket, but still looking hella clean.
I put my feet down, keeping it moving in every city. We gon' feast now. If you got problems, then come and see me, but don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no
I
peace.
put my feet down, keeping it moving in every city. We gon' feast now. If you got problems, then come and see me, but don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no peace.
I wasn't given no option, no silver spoon was provided. You don't wanna fuck with me, cause baby, I'm a straight rider. 96 was initiated, started playing with fire. Little man with a chip on the shoulder, killer for hire. Only Ozzy a beast, yeah, dog off his leash. Paranoid with a pistol, tucked tight on my spleen. Should I aim it at you? Because they aiming at me. They got us killing each other, my cousin smoked by a fiend. God don't like no ugly, he don't visit the streets. Another night with no sleep, more sweating in these sheets. I lived through my struggles, got 2 babies to feed. Trained soldiers of the war, decked out fatigues. Survival by any means, killer or be killed. If you think they talk to peace, you fool, it's unreal. The sheep haven't let them laugh cause they still think they got a chance to stop me.
But baby, I'm too ill.
Keeping
it moving in every city. We go feast
now.
now.
You got problems, then
come and see me. What's good, everyone?
Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Catch your beat down, living in a world with no peace.
Put my feet down.
What's
keeping
good,
it moving
Jack?
in every city. We gon' feast
Gurfin.
now. If you got problems, then come and see me, but
But
don't sleep now. Stay on my hustle till God come get me.
Get your beat down, living in a world with no pity. What's good, everyone? I bet folks are like, "What is this, Journo? Am I tuned into the wrong channel?" Ah, man. Welcome. Friday Night Live. Pedro, Crazy Rican. Appreciate it. Adam, Battle, Panda, X11. Ah, man. Had to bring it in live with some music. That's my variant. Oni OZ, for those that don't know. Who else we got in here? Miguel, Serge, Dave, Isaac, Dan, Tricky, Peter. Oh, man, we got some folks. Pedro. What is good, everyone? Happy Friday. Unkind. What's going on from Florida? Cesar. Appreciate it. From the North Bay. That's what's up. Dr. Doom. Yeah, I had to get everyone turned up and get some movement. Hey, man. Big mouths bring problems, bring violence. Sorry, that's just a quote from the track. Big up JT, the bigger figure, Frisco legend on the track. Ah, man. Let's pull this out. Friday Night Live. I know we kind of got started on a different vibe than we usually do, but I'm just in that type of mood. And if you guys want to go hear more of my music, www.onioz.com. I'll put it right here. www.onioz.com. Boom. Neil, what's going on? Neil, Jake, Devo, David, Leroux. Appreciate it. Man, all right, everyone. So this is what we got going on today. I'm done. Now, I made a video. Actually didn't make a video. I uploaded a video that was a clip of a live stream I did last year. And this was about a week ago that I uploaded it, and I said, this is my last video talking about Cameo versus Full. And it was true. This is my last live stream, at least for a long time, and we're going to get into that. And I'm going to explain, obviously, why I'm saying this and whatnot. All right. Before we do that, though, we got a couple things to go over. I got an awesome comic book to show off. All right. I also want to give a big shout out to all of my members, my Patreon members, and my YouTube channel members. Thank you. I know a lot of you are in the chat already. Thank you so much again for the continued support. We just have a little over a week left of July, and I'm going to be giving some stuff away at the end of July. We have a YouTube membership contest where I'm going to be giving away this Last Ronin issue number 3. I'll probably throw in a couple more books as well. And for my patron only contest, look, we're 6 patrons away. If we hit 40 at the end of the month, I'll be giving away the Tales to Astonish 91 8.0 white pages, first cover of Abomination, second full appearance, hot book. If we don't hit 40, we're going to save that for the next contest. And I'll be giving away this Daredevil 181, Death of Elektra, as well as a couple other books thrown in with that. So regardless, there will be a contest. If anyone is interested in becoming either a YouTube member, you can click the join button below. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, that link's below as well. Anybody that joins and signs up by July 31st will be entered into those contests. All right. So with that being said, if you aren't subscribed to my channel here, of course, I would greatly appreciate you doing so. We're less than 200 away from 8,000 subscribers. I will be doing a little giveaway for an 8K contest. So look out for that. It won't be easy, or excuse me, it won't be hard to enter. It's going to be real easy. Obviously, you just have to be subscribed to me mainly. And then shortly after that, I will be announcing my road to 10K subscriber contest. It's going to be a big one. I already have prizes set aside. I already got sponsors set up. Hoping to get more sponsors on board as well. It's going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing. Simon, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate you. Simon was my first patron member. So I truly appreciate the continued support, Simon. Thank you so much. Caleb, what's going on, Caleb? All right. Now, it's Friday, so I always have to let you all know we're live on Comic Book Canon after the show here. Our Comic Book Canon YouTube link is below as well, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Please give us a sub over there. We have good special guest, good friend of the channel who I do believe is in the chat, Dan De La Torre, coming over to the Canon tonight to hopefully earn that guest co-host spot. We're going to put him through the fire, put it through the test. He's got to pass the interview. Definitely looking forward to having him on. JLS in the house. What's going on? So I'm super excited about the Comic Book Canon show tonight. We have some awesome news. Of course, we have our Fresh from the Comic Shop. And if you guys are entering and signing up for the Whatnot app, we are giving away this Department of Truth CGC number 1, CGC 9.8. You all still have the opportunity to enter for one more week. fresh from the comic shop to get a chance to win this. If you don't know all the details on how you could do that, tune in to Comic Book Canon tonight, because we are going to tell you multiple times how to get entered in to win this beautiful, beautiful 9.8 Department of Truth #1 slab. All right, moving on. What's next? All right, I have a special little show and tell before we get into the topic of discussion tonight. All right, I did an unboxing video of this that I haven't uploaded yet, but I will. But I want to let everyone know of something really awesome right now. This is my folks from a lifetime ago, close family of mine from New Jersey. Great, amazing hip hop artists who are blending hip hop and comic books. Now, their link is below. What this is, my good homie, Poet Substratum, aka Ned Schimmelfinney, just released his new EP, Shades of Night. All right, really good hip hop music. He did a song called Belly Flop featuring Ski Rap. And what did they do? They did a comic book around it in collaboration with Be Free and Dummy Comics Inc. This is something that I feel is really changing the game, blending hip hop with comic books. Real high quality comic. It is black and white on the inside. Really sick art. And basically, it's the lyrics of the song played out in a comic book. So if you all want to help support, there's the link to Dummy Comics and to Poet Substratum's Bandcamp, where you can check out the music and you can purchase the music and the comic book. So again, if you are a fan of hip hop, or you just want to support some independent artists and independent comic creators, please, guys, go check them out. Give them a click, at least give them a listen, a thumbs up. And if you got a few dollars to spend to help support, I would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, this isn't just anybody. This is family of mine. We go way, way back. So, Belly Flop, check it out. All right. Woo. All right, all right. Tom, what's going on, Tom? PQ. Who's ready? Who's ready to get into it? Ranger class, what's going on? Classic book and tape combo. Yeah. One of my first comic books, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Random House comic book with the cassette tape. All right. All right, all right. I think folks are ready to get into this topic of discussion. All right. So, basically, as the title says, I'm done talking about it, man. I'm done talking about this. Cameo, full, first appearance, all of this. For those that have followed me over the last couple of years, you all know that I'm very passionate about this topic of discussion. I made videos discussing it. I made videos focusing on issues that I've had with labeling with Key Collector. I made videos with issues that I had from CGC and CBCS, labeling things, in my humble opinion, incorrectly. I made videos discussing the differences between Cameo and full and how to look at industry precedent and so forth. I am quite honestly frustrated. Now, when I say frustrated, I'm not mad at anybody, okay? But I am frustrated at the lack of ability for folks to kind of get outside of their own box and own kind of narrow perspective of what these labels mean to them. And I don't mean that in a harsh way or in a demeaning way. It's just it's a fact of the matter. It's a fact of the matter. It is very hard for people to comprehend outside of the how they've structured the definitions in the labels to be for however long they've been collecting, whether it's a couple years, decades, their whole lives, whatever the case may be. And it's very frustrating because I've gone into a lot of videos talking about what matters and what and the facts that are on the table, and people just don't get it. They misinterpret what I'm trying to say. They're not understanding, and it's frustrating. Like I said, not in a way to where I'm mad at this person or I think this person is ignorant or stupid or anything like that. That's not the case. I mean, some people are blatantly ignorant and disrespectful, but that's not what I'm talking about. I just think it's very hard for people to kind of see from a different lens. All right, so I broke down the topic of discussion today in basically an outline form. All right. And we are going to run through it as such. All right. Oh, by the way, for those that comic and CD combo, hip hop mixed with comic books, poetrytrodden.bandcamp.com. Like I said, that link is below. So go check them out. Help support. All right. The first thing I want to bring up surrounding the issue of the first appearance controversy is that folks have a hard time understanding definitional fact. All right. And yes, definitional is a real word. Ignoring definitional fact. Now, I know X11, the journo zone. I know that there is no concrete industry definition of what defines a cameo versus a full. But I've explained multiple times that there is enough precedent there for us to have at least solid groundwork, solid foundation. And it's not always clear, and it's not always cut and dry, black and white. I understand that. But there is enough precedent and evidence there to where it shouldn't be as confusing as people make it out to be. And one of those reasons is that people ignore definitional fact. And the one thing that comes up a lot is people don't understand the actual Merriam-Webster 250-year-old definition of cameo. All right? And they always say, oh, cameo means a well-known, somebody that's well-known and well-established. Do you know that that definition is basically your Google definition and not a Merriam-Webster actual textbook dictionary definition? If you go to a real dictionary, there are multiple definitions depending on the context of the word. We only use an established character to define a cameo when it has to do with an art form that involves actors, live actors. So that means plays, TV show, and film. Every other definition of cameo, especially involving literature, and comic books are literature. The cameo, in brief, simply means a brief appearance. That's as basic as I can state it. It doesn't have to be a known character. It doesn't say that they have to show their face or they have to speak or that it involves them not speaking, or if they're named, it makes it not a cameo. No. By textbook definition, a cameo appearance in literature form, which includes comic books, is simply a brief appearance of a character. So my last words on this, because remember, this is the last time, at least for a long time, I'm talking about this. Stop making up your own definitions of these labels. Your own opinion of the definition is merely an opinion and not fact. One issue that we have right now that is a problem in our society whether we're talking about politics, economics, comic books, anything, is that we blend and blur the line of opinion and fact. They are two different things. And although I acknowledge that we have the right to our own opinion, our opinion does not constitute fact. The fact of the matter is that there is a textbook definition of what defines Cameo, and it's not what your opinion is. It's that simple. The fact of the matter is that a cameo is a brief appearance of a character that's either known, unknown, doesn't matter. Maybe they show their face, maybe they don't, maybe they talk, maybe they don't, maybe they're named, maybe they're not. Nothing separates any of those factors for it to not be a cameo. There's also not a definition of, cameo only means one panel or one page. No, that's where subjectivity comes into play when we talk about comic books. We're going to move on. Okay, comic journey. And again, if we disagree, that's okay, because we can disagree here. But what can't you get on with me? What can't right? So far, I did nothing but state facts. I didn't state my opinion. I stated facts. Go get a dictionary. And look up the word cameo. I will argue this in court. I stated nothing but fact. The fact of the matter is, and this is what I'm talking about. You can't, look at this. Ignoring definitional facts. So comic journey, and I love you, man. I appreciate you. You're a big supporter of the channel. You're always watching the videos, commenting. So this, again, this is a respectful debate, right? But comic journey. It seems to me you're ignoring definitional fact. The definition of cameo is exactly what I stated. Is it not? But it is. I know it is. Okay, I'll read the previous comment. Where the fact of the matter is, if a character appears where the appearance is fully recognizable, clearly visible, and the name identified, then that is fact. No, that is absolutely not true. That is your opinion. That is your observation and opinion. First off, the textbook definition of cameo has nothing to do with comic books. It has to do with the word. Secondly, there is no concrete comic book definition of these labels. So no, comic journey, that is not a fact. That's your opinion. If you want to believe that, then that's fine. If you are going to you can sit here and say, well, since there isn't a concrete definition of the blurred line of a cameo in full, it is my opinion that this, and this. That's your opinion. But that is not fact. Not fact. Everything you said here, the fact, no. Your opinion is, if a character appears where the appearance is fully recognizable, clearly visible, and the name is identified, then it's factually, no, it's not. No, it isn't. Because by textbook definition of the word cameo, it doesn't say anything about they can't reveal their face, their name can't be said, they can't show a full body. No. But here's one thing. Here's one thing where I will challenge you, comic journey. If you look at precedent, what the industry has declared to be a cameo has every single one of those things in it. And I'm going to say it again, even though they're not concrete. The term full, if you do your research and go back to 1970, although it's not concrete and although it is blurred at times, if you look at the term full and how full was used, full was not meant to describe physical appearance. It was meant to declare how they are operating in the story of the pages of the book. And again, that's a blurred line, and I get that. But you can look at precedent and understand that the people that were creating these labels clearly meant that a full appearance meant that they were active in the story and in the dialogue of that issue. It is not fact, it is an opinion. And look, Comic Journey, you're right. The Conan, the Red Sonja issue is where the lines are blurred. The Red Sonja, and this is where I give it to you. It has fallen to Cameo, but according to precedent, Conan 23 seems like a full appearance. You're absolutely right, and that's why the lines are blurred. But what you stated respectfully was merely your opinion. Okay, I'm moving on though. I have to move on, folks. Cognitive bias. And this relates to ignoring definitional fact. Folks have cognitive bias. Cognitive bias is being fully cognitively aware that you have your opinion, and even if you're hit with facts that challenge your opinion, you cling to that opinion and ignore fact. It's a fact of the matter. People in this community have cognitive bias. Both ways. Both ways. Like Comic Journey said, we have to look at Conan 23 and 24 with the Red Sonja appearances and question them. If somebody looks at Conan 23 and says, nah, that's a cameo appearance and I'm not hearing any argument against it, they have a cognitive bias. But if people say, nope, if I see the character from head to toe, even on the back page of a comic, that's a full appearance because we can fully see them, that's a cognitive bias. Both are cognitive biases and both sit on opposite side of the argument. We have to stop having cognitive bias. We have to be able to object to our own biases, to our own opinions, and what has already been ingrained in our own realities. We have to be objective to our own perception of things. We have to, because if you don't, then you will never see outside of your biases. You go into the art of debate and argumentation. And anybody that studied debate and argumentation in school, in college, or whatever will understand this. In order to win an argument for what you believe in, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the other side of the coin, the other side of the argument. You have to be able to see from that perspective, even if you disagree or think it's wrong. If you don't, you can never validate your own rationale. All right? Okay, Comic Journey. X-Men 1, 282 and 283 work differently because I made videos on this. What do we value? What do we value? We value what's inside of the book, but we also value covers. And sometimes, even though 282 is a cameo, it's his first cover. But we're getting, see, I'm going to tell everyone in the chat right now, listen to me. I want you guys to listen for a minute. Let me get some water. I really want you guys to humble yourselves and listen to me. I want everyone right now. What's up? What's going on, Vinny? What's going on, Mark? Stop going to examples. I want you guys to put examples out of your head. Don't sit and say, oh, well, Conan did this, X-Men 282 that. Put everything, put it all away. Take that, dummy. What's going on? I know I should get a water sponsorship. I want everyone to just clear their minds of any comic book. I don't want you thinking about Hulk 180, 181 or Gambit or Red Sonja or Bishop. Stop thinking about comics and comic book characters and focus on what I'm saying. Going back to the first thing. Ignoring definitional fact. We have to look at the fact of the definitions. Look at the fact of the definitions without thinking of any comic book. Okay? Get rid of your cognitive biases without thinking of any comic book. And then go back to it. And then go back to it. It doesn't matter what we demand. Get this foundation of what I'm talking about here, the groundwork of understanding these labels has nothing to do with how we value a comic book. I know they correlate, but right now we gotta build the foundation first. Understanding the definition of the labels and what the intent of the industry was. I want you guys to hold that in your mind. And then I want you to get a blank comic book. Say this, it's a blank comic book and you're an artist and a writer. And you work for Marvel. And Marvel says, I want you to draw and write a Spider-Man comic. And I want you to introduce a new character. But I want that introduction to be in Cameo. And then I want you to do another issue of, say, an Iron Man book. And I want you to do an introduction to another character, but I want it to be a full appearance in that issue. So what do? First, you need to understand the definitions of the words. Cameo, there's a textbook definition. Full, that's not a textbook definition, that's an industry standard. So you have to look at precedent. And for me, taking those two things in, the Spider-Man book with a cameo appearance, I'm going to introduce the character that might be on 1, maybe 2 pages and only a few panels. Maybe you see them in the shadows and maybe on the back page, they show up. They could be named. They could talk because guess what? You can see them from head to toe because guess what? All those things by textbook definition means it's still a cameo because it's still a brief appearance. So now I'm working on my Iron Man book that Marvel wants me to make, and they want me to introduce a new character in a full appearance for the first time. Well, I don't have a textbook to look up full. I have to look at industry precedent. And industry precedent tells me a full appearance means that character is involved in the story throughout the book, and it makes an impact on the story. They're interacting with the characters, and it's more than just hiding in the shadows for a couple of panels and then maybe popping out and saying their name or whatever. Those are facts. Oh, by the way, don't Google. Don't Google. If you if you do Google, go to Merriam-Webster's site. But I would go to their website because you'll see the list of all the definitions. But I highly recommend you getting an official Merriam-Webster copy, not like a junior edition or a paperback edition. Get an official edition from your library and look up the 250-year-old definition of cameo. Now, I want everyone to realize here, I understand that the industry gets it wrong a lot. I'm not denying that, but we're going to move on. A first cameo is a first appearance. This is what boggles my mind the most. Serge, you can bring up a sample of a movie, but remember, a movie is completely different. There is a completely different textbook definition of cameo for movies. So they're not the same thing. And that's not my opinion, that's a fact. This is what boggles my mind. People are still pinning first cameo versus first appearance, and it makes no sense because nobody in the industry is ever denying that the first time we see a character, no matter if it's a cameo or they're fully throughout the book, the first time that we see the character is their first appearance. There is no such thing as first cameo versus first appearance. There's no such thing as that. They're the same thing. It's just the context if that first appearance is either a cameo or a full appearance. This is what bothers me the most. That people that say Hulk 180 is Wolverine's first appearance. Yes, it is. It's all people will say Marvel has always said Hulk 180 is Wolverine's first appearance, and that's what it is. Nobody's denying that. Hulk 180 has always been Wolverine's first appearance, and it always will be. In Cameo, Hulk 180 always was and always will be Wolverine's first appearance. In Cameo. Guess what's also correct? Hulk 181 is Wolverine's second appearance. I said it. Hulk 181 is Wolverine's second appearance. But it is also Wolverine's first full appearance. Hulk 180 is Wolverine's first appearance in Cameo. Hulk 181 is Wolverine's second appearance. But it's also Wolverine's first full appearance. It is both at the same time. Why? Because the labels in the context dictate it as such. It's also his first cover appearance. That's a fact. That's not true, Comic Toby. I don't know if this is not true. This is the textbook definition for plays and TV and movies. Anything involving actors. Bring up a Merriam-Webster definition. This goes back to my first section. Ignoring definitional fact. Comic Toby, I love you. I appreciate you. Don't take this the wrong way. When it comes to literature, comic books are literature. The already established character definition does not pertain to literature. It does not pertain to comic books whatsoever. I really encourage everyone to understand this as fact because it is such. You have to stop Googling for definitions. You got to go to Merriam-Webster.com or you got to go to the library and you get an official Merriam-Webster dictionary that's been in print for over 250 years and understand the difference, because it matters. So going back to this, I'm going to say it one more time and then we're going to move on. Okay? One more time and then we're going to move on. A first cameo is a first appearance. So please understand that. If somebody is trying to argue the fact that a first cameo isn't some kind of an appearance, then they just don't get it. They don't get it. Hulk 180 is and always will be Wolverine's first appearance in Cameo. Hulk 181 is and always will be Wolverine's second appearance, but it is also his first full appearance and first cover appearance. All right, we're going to move on. Yeah, third rail. Yep. That's funny. Wow, take that, dummy. That's nice. Congrats on that 9.8. Secret Wars. That is awesome. All right, everyone. Here's the thing. Here's the real depth of this today. All right. When refusing to agree to disagree turns ugly. Comic Journey is sitting here supporting my channel like he always does. Always. I think he comments on every single video I do. There he is. He's commenting still. Cameos aren't all... Oh, I got to stop. I think I agree with you here, Comic Journey. Cameos aren't all equal. A cameo of a character in shadows or an image of a hand isn't the same of a... Hey, I agree. I agree. And that's why... So Comic Journey. Comic Journey. Hold that thought, because the next section... Actually, let me pull up the next session, and then we're going to talk about when not agreeing to disagree turns ugly. Comic Journey, I agree with that, and this is what I have to say to that. This is the next section I was going to do. I still believe in an advisor board for industry standards. Comic Journey, you're absolutely right. Not all cameos are created equal, and even not all full appearances, what they consider like aren't created equal either, because there are, and like I say, although more often than not, it's easy, in my humble opinion, to tell cameo between full. It is, more often than not. But there's a lot of books out there that are controversial, like Gambit, like Red Sonja, and so forth. So that's why the bottom line, we need an advisory board for industry standards. We do. Because Key Collector, CGC, CBCS, Go Collect, anybody that has to report and document data and labels, they're going to be inconsistent. They're going to be inconsistent, and it makes it hard for collectors. But it's not their faults. And I understand why collectors themselves are confused, and this conversation is so convoluted, because there isn't an industry standard still. As much as I'm putting my feet down saying there's evidence out there, we have to pay attention to definition. We have to not have cognitive biases. We have to get outside of ourselves. I'm saying all these things, but at the end of the day, I'm empathetic for the confusion, because it's not that black and white still, and we need industry standards. And Marvel and DC and the publishers are never going to do that. And we can't depend on just one entity like Key Collector or one entity like CGC to just create them and you know, everyone's going to argue with them. There's always going to be arguments. And that's why I'm done with this. But I will still always advocate for an advisory board, which in my humble opinion is a third-party advisory board with people from different facets of the industry that sit and create these definitions and revamp them every year or every so often. They have an annual get-together, right? So Comic Journey, again, I agree with you. Now, I'm going to go back to this, and I was just using Comic Journey as an example. Comic Journey, like, I swear he comments on, watches every single one of my videos. Always supporting the channel. And he's here today watching, and we disagreed on some things. We agreed on some things. And that's amazing. And at the end of the day, all I want him to do is listen, right? And all of you commenting in the comments, you want that same from me. You want me to listen, and I am. And the biggest thing for me right now in terms of stepping outside of having this conversation anymore is this. People can't agree to disagree. And people act like they're trying to be turf bangers over a disagreement about a comic book. And ironically, this just happened to me yesterday and today on Instagram. And I'm going to say it like this. Anybody who takes a comic book disagreement and turns it into something ugly, like name calling, Marshall, what's going on? Degenerate, what's going on? Oh, Degenerate, I agree with you though. Context matters, like CGC labels. I do believe all that context should be there. Second overall appearance, first full appearance on the same label. I agree 100%. All right, going back to what I was saying. Anybody, and you know what? And I got no problem. I've called out my viewers. I've hit up folks that I believe I made friendships with, other content creators, and I'll tell them, look, I don't like how you handle this. I don't agree with this. And if somebody comes at me, I'll have a one-on-one conversation. I will reach out to them privately because I'm not about having an audience trying to act big and badass. I'm not. Anybody in this community and in this hobby that disagrees with somebody else about something about comic books and it turns to name calling or belittling or bullying, grow up. There is no room for that in this community and in this hobby whatsoever. I don't care. You could be subscribed to my channel. You could be a fellow content creator. If I see you doing that, I'll call you out respectfully because I want better from you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I'm stepping away from this argument because people can't passionately debate and argue this stuff without getting nasty. And I've said this before. I've lost childhood friends. I don't get it twisted because I'm over here reading comic books, talking about geek shit. I've been there. I've lived that life. I've had childhood friends die over some real life bullshit. And to see that come over into the, you want to sit behind a screen and call people sheep because they disagree with you or they use an app that you don't use. How old are we? How old are we? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a badass and I'm this and I'm that. But I don't take lightly to somebody coming at me. Because you think you know me. Because one day you could say something to the wrong person. Because I know damn well, even some of you in the chat right now watching, if you've done this on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever, and you start getting cynical and narcissistic in comments and you start belittling somebody, I guarantee you ain't talking like that to their face. I guarantee it. Yep. So, of course, TS taking the higher road. So that's the thing. For me, I know the intent of these types of people. The reason I call it out isn't because I'm not taking the higher road or I'm letting it get to me. Like, don't feed the trolls. No, it's because I believe with great power comes great responsibility, and it is my responsibility to call it out when I see it. I can't change the world, but I can sit here and encourage you all to be a little better. I need to sit here and try to put my heart out there to you all and say, we all have to do better. If we find ourselves getting so, I'm not saying passionate, because people mistake my passion like Comic Journey. I'm all here, I'm getting passionate with, nope, I disagree. That's your opinion. That's not fact. Like, I think Comic Journey, we're on the same page, but some people might look at me and be like, yo, like, why are you getting mad? I'm like, I'm not getting mad. I'm just passionate. And Comic Journey is nothing but respect. And through the chat, we've agreed on things, we've disagreed on things, and it's all love. And this guy supports my channel. If you feel like you can't just be passionate, but be respectful, and you find yourself getting to a point where you think you might start being an ass, just don't dive into it no more. Don't even, just let it go. Let it go. It's comic books. It's comic books. That's true. Take that, dummy. That's true. And you know, I know, you know, for yourself, it's like, you take that, dummy. I know you're well aware of the fact that, you know, we got to communicate, guys. We got to have, there's going to be Miss Black Jesus is in the house. What is going on? La Cruces. Sometimes there's going to be misunderstandings, and I always encourage folks to talk it out. And privately, like, yo, hey, say, hey, you know, misunderstanding. Let's talk about this as adults and whatnot. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that there should never be a time where we let comic books get the best of us to where we are attacking our fellow community members and fellow hobbyists. Never, period. And that's why I stopped talking about my issues with Key Collector, because I couldn't say I disagree with this thing Key Collector did without people coming in the comments, picking up the pitchforks with their conspiracy theories, attacking a man that, you know, Nick, for those that know, that, you know, is the creator and owner of Key Collector, you know, calling him names, calling him childish ass names. It's like, you don't know this man. You may not agree with everything he does with his business, but don't come on my channel picking up pitchforks, acting childish, saying, you know, this and that about people that you don't know. We got to keep this hobby and this community respectful, guys. We got to be honest, good-hearted people. And it's sad that this topic of discussion right here has gotten so ugly. And there's a following out there. There is a loud minority out there in this community that use this topic of discussion as a way to get attention. And there were times where I would see some of this stuff and I would like find myself getting pulled into it. Oh, damn, they're right. Like, oh, look at this. What is this, you know, diabolical plot that people are doing because they're labeling a comic book wrong? It must be some kind of conspiracy theory plot. Cut it. And then if you don't if you don't agree with their conspiracy theories, you're a clown and you're a sheep, right? None of that. We got to do better. All right. Let's see. Final words. I want to get to some more of you guys' comments. I do want to say one more time again, we don't always have to agree, but let's always be open to having a conversation and never let our hobby that we all love be something that divides us. It should be uniting us every single day that we participate in it. All right. Final words. Comic journey. Yeah. Not that kind of attention. X11. That's funny. Maybe I'll get, I mean, you've been creative with the taglines and the slogans. So third rail, some people get special powers. It's called jealousy. Yeah. You know, that sad thing is some grown adults are more immature than children these days. And it's sad, especially when they're sitting behind a keyboard. Final words, folks. Final words. Context will always matter. Read your comic books. Going back to like what Comic Journey said, not all cameos are created equal. And then I forget, I apologize. Who else said, like, I think they should label it second appearance and first full. All of that is about context. Guys, context will always matter. Don't just pull up Key Collector app and take what they have labeled as face value. Don't just look at CGC and take what they say at face value. Don't just look at CBCS. Don't just look at Go Collector cover price and take what they say at face value. They're all great resources. Cover price is a great resource. I mean, come on. Whether you use it or not, you can't deny the fact that any type of wiki or database where you have all these books, you know, not even to spec, but to learn from, right? They're all great resources. They're not all perfect. Don't just look, if you don't know what to believe, whether it's a character that you're after and you don't know if this is a cameo or a full or this or that, and you don't know what you want to collect more or what you want to value more, you know what you do? You get the book and you read it. You read it. You might say, well, it's a big book, it's a key book, and I don't want to spend $100 on something without knowing. My recommendation is this. Go on Marvel.com and pay $2, $3, $4 for the digital download. You're spending a little bit of money, but at least you're reading the comic book for yourself. You know exactly what's in the pages of the book, and you can understand the definition and industry standard, and you can make up in your own mind and say, well, they may say that this is a cameo, but I see it more as a full, and I'm going to value it as such. I definitely want to buy it now. I want to pay the $100 to get this book. I don't care if the industry labels it as a cameo. Context will always matter. Do your due diligence and read your comic books. It comes down to that. All right. Comic Journey, that's a great topic. LCSs need to bag and board their new comics. Hey, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. That's a great topic of discussion, though. Serge, yeah, I mean, I'm just, like I said, to sum it up, I'm done talking about it because I think ultimately I could talk till I'm blue in the face. People are going to make their own minds up, and they just, I can't expend any more energy trying to convince people. So I'll just take heed And I'm just tired of the ugliness around this. There's a lot of ugliness as well, where people are attacking other people and attacking companies and just basically trying to seek attention by being nasty. So that's why I'm done talking about it. And I just encourage everyone to read your comic books. Dan is in the house. Dan will be our special guest co-host on Comic Book Canon coming up in just 32 minutes. Thank you for hanging out, Dan. I will see you on the Canon. I hope to see all of you over there. All right. Austin and Vicky, good to see you here today. Personal preference since day one, but a lot of people get the FOMO. FOMO can be good. FOMO can be bad. I have more FOMO videos than I'm going to be doing soon. That's for sure. Vinny says context matters. All right, everyone, get this. Before we go, we got one more thing to do. Stick around because guess what? It is time for Journo's monthly comics. Give me 1 minute. We are going to bring up July's comics that you have all submitted. Now, for those that don't know about Journo's monthly comics, it is a segment that I offer for all of my YouTube members and my Patreon members. All right. This month's theme was cosmic covers. So I asked my members to pick out their favorite cosmic cover comic books, take a picture of it, send it on over, and I will show it off on my Friday Night Live. All right, we are going to bring this up. Give me one moment. All right, here we go. Here we go. This beauty right here from Comic Ozzy. Strange Tales 178. First appearance of Magus. That's a good one. I love Warlock. This is a great cosmic cover. Comic Ozzy, thank you so much for submitting this. Shadow Rat, look at this. What is that? That's a Green Lantern. Black Stars #2. I believe that's the B variant. That's a beautiful cover. I love that. That's a great, great entry. Thank you, Shadow Rat. Moonlit with Star Wars. What do we got? 93 and 98, I believe. Hey, any Star Wars covers for cosmic covers, I'm all for. Absolutely. Got some Vader action there. Sweet. All right, more from Shadow Rat, another Green Lantern. I do believe Shadow Rat is a big Green Lantern fan. This is a sick one. Green Lantern #18. I do believe I have this book. That is a good one. Oh, look at this. Sinestro #2. I do not know the artist on this, but that is a dope cover, Shadow Rat. All right, next up, nice, Peter. Peter's got his Galactus the Origin, which is a nice little spec book that I've been talking about for a while. And we got a Galactus pop right there with it. That is a giant size pop. Sick. That is a dope submission. Thank you so much, Peter. X11 with some Silver Surfer Requiem. Nice. I'm all about my Silver Surfer now. Right now, I'm specking on anything Silver Surfer. That is for sure. Simon. Simon's got Guardians of the Galaxy. What is that, 13? With some cosmic Ghost Rider action. Sick. And Simon with the win. Simon with the win. The greatest comic of all time. Warlock in the Infinity Watch #1. Give Simon a big round of applause. Simon wins. I don't know what Simon wins. A round of applause, but This is so awesome, Simon. You know it. Warlock and the Infinity Watch, #1. That's a book. You guys know that is my book. I love it. Awesome stuff, everyone. Awesome stuff. Thank you all of my members for submitting for the month of July. You guys can keep submitting for the month of July, and I will show off any new submissions on next week's show. But everyone, with that being said, that's the show today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Again, let's put this argument to bed, at least for a long period of time. And the bigger takeaway that I want everyone to take out of this, be kind to each other. Be kind to each other in this hobby. We may have disagreements. We may have misunderstandings, but nothing should get in the way of us being family and us being a part of a respectful, trustworthy, compassionate community. That's when we thrive. Together we thrive. Divided we fall. And it's that simple. So I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Simon, thank you so much for signing up as a YouTube member. Remember, folks, click the join button below if you want to help support the channel for only $1.99 a month. You get extra perks. I will be doing my YouTube subscriber giveaway at the end of July. Anybody who signs up by July 31st will be entered into that contest. You also will get an extra entry into my 8K contest and my 10K contest when we finally steamroll that out. And of course, to all my Patreon members, thank you all. And again, we will be having the Patreon giveaway at the end of July as well. John, thank you, John. Pat Murdoch, thank you for hanging out today. Thank you guys so much. And again, 25 minutes away from Comic Book Canon. I hope to see all of you there. A link is in the description below. Be well. Peace.